Hi guys, welcome. I'm getting into a 10-minute game on the road to 2000 right now. I've just come off beating a 2200 in a bullet game, which was completely nuts, but I think probably a little bit lucky potentially. So, got a nice Queen's Gambit position. They're declining the Gambit. So now we get both knights out first, and then we think about where to put this bishop. Probably here, but sometimes it goes here as well, depending. I think actually here, if this comes with a pin, I think it's worth going all the way out to g5. But I think if there's no pin on the queen, I think probably just here is fine. So let's do that. Maybe preparing this little cubby hole as well. And then we can slide the bishop back. Also, it takes a few squares away from the bishop and knight. So they may be preparing to kick my bishop, so I can do this, get my other bishop ready to recapture if they ever take. I don't think they're going to take this pawn. So basically, in the Queen's Gambit, guys, you leave this pawn hanging as long as you can until you want to get your light square bishop out. Because you don't want to play there and then they capture the pawn. And then you've got to move your bishop again, because then they've just sort of wasted your time. So now we capture. Because also, if they take now, it gives us a nice pawn towards the center, and it's not going to be a double pawn anymore because we've removed this pawn. So what the plan is now, we just need to get castled, really, don't we? So do we want to try trade off this bishop? It's the strongest diagonal on the board. We could go here, but their bishop would be far more powerful than ours. So let's trade it off, just because it's such a strong bishop here. If we take with the queen, we're also developing another piece, so feeling good. Hope you're all well, guys. Just been outside, got a little bit of sun, and had a pizza, so... so if we take with this, we get forked. And we can't take with this because it's pinned. But if we take with this, pawn takes, our knight has to move. It's a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe we kick their bishop. Take, take. And if take, take. I think we're fine. I think we can throw in this move. Trying to ask them to decide what they're doing with this piece. We might follow up with this pawn and kick them all the way back. No, so we get to take with the pawn towards the center, which I quite like. You get this open file for the rook. Attacking this key weak square. So we can castle now. Just wondering what they're going to do with this bishop. It's a good move, that. It's quite like a lot of the high level bots, guys, do moves like this. Just like shoving a piece in, saying if we take, then they're going to like shove another piece in that outpost square. The only way to undermine it long term is to move the knight and then play this pawn up. So we could do that, reroute the knight round. Or this, but then they take. So if this here, we could play like that to trade off the knight there. So let's go for that. Used a little bit of time getting out of the opening, but I think it's worth it, guys. It's the point in the game where I normally throw the game away, the opening. So they're trying to get in on this square, but we have got it defended. So if takes, we can take with a rook, and then the knight still defends this square. And this is a strong pawn. We don't want to let them like move the knight and then reinforce the pawn. We want to take this pawn out to get our center mobilized. So Bosch. Still, we're planning on sliding this bishop back maybe long term. If we ever get forced to, but no desperate need to do that. So they're saying if takes, they're going to lodge the rook in there now. What if we intercept the rook's defense? How can they hit my bishop? They could go like this. Could be annoying, couldn't it? Here. Although if this, we get queen here threatening this. I'm actually just going to go through with this trade. That looks nice at the end there. We're also getting an open rook. Yeah, they might have a powerful rook, but see, whoops. See how powerful a knight is, guys. Knights are a really powerful outpost square piece. I've never discussed this on the channel. This knight is just doing a lot on this outpost square. They're the perfect piece to put on an outpost square. Bishops can be pretty good, but rooks are sort of awful. You know, it's actually just a trapped rook. It's sort of exerting pressure, but also not, because these pieces are less valuable than the rook. So we go here. I was thinking we'd be threatening this, threatening mate. Actually, the rook does capture in that case. So maybe this rook is doing something. What if here, though, and then with the goal of pivoting round. Here, they reinforce the rook, and then we go here, threatening this. Seems like a good plan. I'm feeling quite methodical right now and clear-headed. So, that's a nice change. So yeah, this and this. Now, this knight can now infiltrate, which is a little bit annoying. But they're going to have to deal with this first, yeah. So they protect the rook. So if here, this square is still defended. I don't see a good way of stopping this move, so let's just go aggressive. Let's see if they realize this plan. So they step out with the pin, saying that if we take, they now recapture. What if we double up here, adding some defense to the pawn, trying to go after this pawn? If they do a break like that, you know, it's starting to weaken the structure. If here is this annoying, this could threaten this if we line the rooks up like this. I don't know how we stop this knight. Here, going after the knight, then it forces them to play like that. I'm not sure. But I think doubling up's okay. I'm just not sure about this threat. I don't know what to do about it. If they play there now, we can't even play this because of the fork. Yeah. So just a bit uncomfortable, really. So we can play this. So that at least they haven't got pressure on this pawn. And maybe we could come up and hit, but then they defend. That knight's a real problem. If this going after this square, they take, we take, they win a pawn. I think their knight's more powerful than my bishop. It's annoying me. Yeah, so again, this doesn't work in light of this. But now they've played this pawn here, this queen plan is gone of doing this and this. So maybe we can slide the queen back. Adds more defense to this. It prepares tripling up on this F file. Let's try it. I'm not sure. I do like this move if the knight wasn't here. This is the sort of thing that you could do to like break the bridge between the queen and rook. Sever their communication and make them both much weaker. So now could we consider something like this? If takes, takes, then we get takes. We're getting 2 pawns for the piece, and their king is in the middle of nowhere. What about this now? Does that do anything? Here, here, here. We're not actually threatening any mates, are we, though? If we bring another rook. But then they can start to do this. This is our moment. Do we go for it? I don't really see what we've got, but I don't want to let them stabilize. So if they play this, it does weaken the structure long term. Maybe we've got something. Let's just do another slow move building. Just building into the attack. We're tripled up. They're a little bit less coordinated, I think. So now this. If here, trying to defend this square. Or do we go for this now? If takes here. Do I even want to go down a pawn? I really don't know if this even does anything. I don't know what the plan is after that. But it looks aggressive. Maybe this. Or this. Trying to get in. I don't know. I'm sure this will create some sort of counterplay. Let's try it. Although now have they just got this pawn? Then I go here. Check. They take. I take. They take. I take. That's just queen and rook for queen and rook, and then they win this pawn. I think we've just thrown the game. Unless this works. Yeah, maybe that's our win. This and this is just mate, isn't it? So to defend that, they have to go here. Oh, there. That's, yeah, I think that's a better move. But now this, and we're coming in this way. Takes. Takes. Queen can go back. What are we missing? What are we missing? Right, 2 minutes to calculate this out. If this, how can queen defend this pawn? Just bosh. Just going after the pawn, simple as that. They take here, we take the pawn with check. Let's try this. I know it's only a pawn, but it's their last defender of the king. So it's a pretty big deal. Like, we can win this, the king is just running. Yeah. Not sure how we follow up. Again, this pawn is falling, but this seems too slow. I don't know where they put the queen, really. This seems most defensive. After takes here, I can't quite work out what I'm going to do. Because they're just hitting my rook, and they're hitting this. Yeah, I don't know. Hope the lighting's alright. I know it's a little bit bright, shining through my curtain / blanket masking taped over the window. Wash. It looks good, doesn't it? Is there anything better than that? Surely it starts with the check. Because now they're not even defending this square. I'm a bit confused. I thought they were going to go here or somewhere to at least defend this square, right? Why did it just make the check noise? That's really scary. Why did it just make the check noise? So my first instinct was this, but there's also this, but then we lose the rook. So this. And then, is that mate? That looks like a classic mating pattern there. I don't know what it's called, that. But it's a cheeky, beautiful mate. Yeah, someone in the comments, let me know what that's called, guys. I'm going to analyze that, because 3 mistakes, 0 blunders. Not my cleanest, but not the worst. Let's see what the engine thinks. Report, what did I do? Oh, 57% accuracy against their 16. So a little bit of a confusing position if that's anything to go by. I normally get slightly better accuracy than that. They didn't like that queen move. Because that, wow. A defended queen. But mine's also defended. So after this, why is that so good? We step out of the alignment issue. Okay. Anyway, as proceeded in the game, it likes the sack earlier. Wow. Yeah, and now it was just screaming for the sack. And this move was bad. But I think this move was a complete blunder. Like they had to stop the queen getting to this square and checks. And a beautiful little mate. What if I'd gone there? Was that mate? No, that was also mate, wasn't it? Yeah, very beautiful there at the end. I like that little mating pattern. Someone let me know what that type of mate is called. And yeah, hope you enjoyed that one, guys. I think a reasonably clean game. So like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.